I got a couple of lights here that I want to show you folks what they're all about. These are from SOFIRN. This is a 16,000 lumen light. This is a 1300 High CRI EDC pocket light, both from SOFIRN, and I really want to show you folks what these are all about because the pricing on these things is kind of right on point. So guys, I am not a professional flashlight reviewer. I don't have a lumen tube to verify lumens, but I am a real dude that likes light. So I'm gonna move you in closer. I'm gonna show you the details of each of these lights, but throughout this video, I'm gonna throw in some night shots of me using each of these lights so you can kind of get a better idea of the beam pattern and light output that each one of these gives you. Okay, we're gonna save the best for last, but to start off with, this little EDC light is the SC32 High CRI light from SOFIRN. And if you don't know what High CRI means, it basically just refers to the light color output. And the higher the CRI, the more true colors look at nighttime. So this is great if you really need to retain true colors at night instead of that cool blue, really bright light. This is going to give you more accurate color renditions at night. But that is what the High CRI really refers to. But when you have High CRI, you don't have quite as bright of an output. So this is a 1300 lumen on turbo flashlight. It's got several different modes to it, different levels of brightness that we'll get into. But for size comparison, we'll put the Olight Baton 3 Pro right up next to it. And this is a 1500 lumen light. And then next to that, I've got my Baton 3 Pro Max, which is a 2500 lumen light. And by the way, this is the new brass Olight. It is super crazy heavy, but such a sweet light. But this is the size comparison. So the SOFIRN is just a hair shorter, but it's a little bit fatter than the Baton 3 Pro. But these are the two closest lights that I have in terms of lumen output and overall size. And I'm sure most of us have either held or probably have an Olight Baton 3. But there's for size comparison. So now this again is what they consider a tactical light, and they consider it that because it does have a very slight bezel around it. It's nothing that I would consider aggressive. It's actually kind of blunted at the end, but there is a bezel around the end, but it mainly is because it is a tail switch enabled only flashlight. There is no side switch, side clicky button on this light, tail switch only. But inside this light, when you unscrew it, it's going to have a standard rechargeable battery that you can easily replace. So this is the 3000 milliamp 18650 battery. This is SOFIRN branded battery, but any 18650 battery will work. So it's easy to keep a couple of these around. You just slide right in, tighten it down. It does have a double-sided tail clip, so you can, if you want to, put this on the brim of your hat. I think these are a little bit big to brim wear, but you know, you can. And it's fairly, I don't know if I would consider this deep carry because you're about ½ an inch sticking out, but it's deep carry enough. It's not going to be sticking out a whole lot, but there is a little bit of room here on top of the clip that will be poking out. Now this has one LED emitter inside, and if I can get a good close-up of it, that is a 519A, which is a high CRI LED emitter. So that's where you get your CRI rating, which is greater than 90. So again, just really good color rendition at night if that's what you need. And this also comes in really useful for filming at night. For me that I found, it provides a better light when you're actually trying to video record something at night. It's not going to give that really bright blue light. But anyway, not that that's really too important for you folks. The pocket clip is removable if you want to take it off and just go straight into your pocket. And to recharge it, it's got a little flappy doodle thingy here, and you just open it up and you've got your Type-C recharging port built in. So it's got a total of 6 modes, and those 6 modes include strobe and moonlight. But to start off, it's very similar to my Olights, and I keep referring to that because it's a pretty similar user interface. But to get to moonlight, you're just going to press and hold the tail switch, and that's going to give you 1 lumen of light. And I'll put up all the specs. I don't want to have to go through all these because I don't know if that's that important for you, but you're going to get over 500 hours on this low moonlight 1 lumen setting. And if you press and hold, it's just going to cycle through each of the other settings low, medium, high, low, medium, high. If you want to get to the turbo setting, you double click, And that's going to be your 1300 lumen light. Really a pretty bright light. And here's just some footage of this thing outside at night in an area as dark as I could get it. And this is just running straight off of 1300 lumens. I didn't go through all of the low modes because they're kind of hard to get on video and really kind of depict how well the flashlight does. But again, 1300 lumens is going to illuminate pretty much everything that you're going to want to see with a flashlight of this size. It's not a searchlight. It's not going to be throwing down 500 meters down the street. But 1300 lumens, to be able to carry this in your pocket with a single 18650 battery, I think is plenty high enough. And that high CRI rating really does make a difference for the actual color rendition, and things just look truer to life at night with this type of light output. Now, you can go from dead off when the flashlight is not on to double click, and then it's going to take you straight into turbo. You can triple click the tail switch and get strobe, so be careful if you don't like strobe lights, but you can triple click, and it puts out a really, really weird strobe light. It's very disorienting. It's not your standard strobe light. So yeah, this will definitely make someone a little bit uncomfortable, I would suppose. So one of the kind of cool things about this light is if you don't like the step dimming to where when you hold the tail switch and it just jumps up in lumens from 70 to 310 to 600, you can program it to where it ramps the lumens. So when the light is on and you click 4 times really fast, 1, 2, 3, 4, you'll get a kind of a notification real quick flash. And then when you press and hold the tail switch, you're going to have your ramp dimming. So it's going to slowly go up, and it's going to flash real fast when it gets up to its highest level. And if you keep holding it, it's going to slowly start to go down, and it's going to flash when it gets to the lowest level, letting you know you've hit moonlight mode. And if you don't like that, just hit 4 times real fast, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it flashes really fast, and now you're back up to the step dimming. And this right now is $40 on Amazon with a 25% off coupon. So when you compare something like this to something like this, it is way cheaper. And this is IP68 water rated. So it will survive being out in the rain. Don't have to worry about that. But this Olight is around $80. I can't remember how much I spend on these Olights, but definitely more expensive than the SOFIRN light. But this is an affordable tail switch activated flashlight that's pretty good quality, really nice anodization on it. This is aluminum alloy. So for around $30 with the coupon, I think it's a pretty good option. And if you do lose it, you're not going to be out a whole heck of a lot of money like what I did when I spent way too much money on this limited edition brass Olight. But I think it's just a pretty sweet little light. Now, let's move on to this big guy. So this is the Q8 Plus. This is the largest flashlight that I have. It is heavy. It's, I think they consider these a soda can light. It is a big, big light. 16,000 lumens. And again, I don't have a lumen output meter, but I can tell you, and you're gonna see in this footage, that the beam that this thing puts out is absolutely the craziest output light that I have. I was shocked when I turned this thing on and I lit up as far as I could see with this light. And for size comparison to this Q8 Plus, this is my Olight Marauder Mini. So it is basically the same length, and it is pretty much the same circumference, close enough for the average human to not be able to tell the difference. It is, however, quite a bit thicker in the handle area and heavier. This SOFIRN is about 500 grams without any batteries in it, but there's a size comparison for you folks. Now, this thing is powered, again, by 3 user replaceable batteries, and to get to those, you just unscrew the base, and you're gonna have 3 5,000 milliamp 21700 batteries. And again, these are SOFIRN branded batteries, but very easy to replace or upgrade to a high discharge battery to get even up to 20,000 lumens. And that's on the SOFIRN website. So if you want to spend 20 or 30 extra bucks on a little bit better batteries, this will accept it, and you're going to get up to 20,000 lumens. This thing is aircraft grade aluminum. It's got a really nice finish on it. I don't see any type of machining marks or anything kind of off on this light. But if I can get this thing just in the right light, hopefully you can see that it does have 6 CRI XHP 50B LEDs. Now this is a floodlight. It is not a spotlight. It's going to be very, very floody pattern, which is awesome because when you turn this thing on turbo, guys, I am not kidding, and you'll see from some of this footage, it literally lights up everything around you and as far as you can see. I was so pleasantly shocked when I turned this thing on turbo to see how much this thing actually output. I've never had a light as bright as this. I thought this Marauder Mini was bright, and it is bright. It is an awesome light. This thing makes this thing look tiny with light output. Now this is also IPX8 rated, so that means it's submersible up to 1 meter of water for 30 minutes. So basically that means you can use this thing out in the rain, out in the snow. If you're a search and rescue type person, it's really where I see these lights coming in handy. Don't be afraid to use it. It is rated to get wet and it's gonna be fine. And if you drop it in the lake, it'll probably be fine as long as it's not too deep. So the user interface on this, guys, it's got two. It's got the dummy level, which is what I use, and it's got a Super Pro level, which is what I do not use, and a lot of people don't use it unless you are just a guru flashlight programmer. It is crazy complicated. There's so many different things you can program on this light in user 2 mode that I'm not even going to pretend to know what all of that is about, but you can go in and change the strobe pattern, the strobe brightness, the SOS pattern. There's so many different things that you can do in the Pro level 2 user interface of this. So I just keep it on level 1, which I think is going to be what most of us would be fine using. But to get this light turned on is just going to be a simple click, okay? And that's going to, and it does have memory mode, so whatever you were at previously is going to return to that mode when you turn it on, unless it's on turbo, then it will go to high. But if you press and hold, this is going to be a slow ramp up or slow ramp down. So I'm on the lowest, and this thing is going to crank up all the way up to the high, and luckily my camera adjusts for this. But if I press and hold again, it's going to go all the way back down to the lowest setting. And the lowest setting on this, guys, is 5 lumens. So it actually does have a pretty nice low output for a light of this size. A lot of times these bigger lights can't get that low. But 5 lumens is pretty useful. So, it's just going to get you around a tent or, walking around a dark cabin at night or in the RV when you don't want to wake everyone up. Now it goes, again, all the way up from 5 lumens up to 16,000 rated lumens. And I'm telling you what, guys, this thing, it is so crazy bright. And we're just walking around here at night around my house at the 16,000 lumens. And, I felt bad for my neighbors because I didn't know what to think, because it literally lights up the entire plot that my house sits on. And you can see this light forever away. It is insanely bright. I don't think my nighttime videography skills have really done this light justice of how bright it truly is, but it's crazy. And this is the same as the SC32 in terms of ramping or stepped up brightness. So you can turn this light on and you can click 3 times and it's going to give you a little flash. And that's going to change it from slowly ramping up and down the intensity to this step up pattern that you can see here. And on this light that is this bright, I actually prefer the ramping up and ramping down. So I'm going to go back to that by triple clicking. And now you can see when I press and hold, it just slowly goes up and down. We don't have that harsh jump from lumens to the next. So, but we're going to get this thing cut off because it's getting warm, which this thing will get warm. It's going to last about 2 minutes on turbo setting, and you can feel the heat after about a minute running on turbo. So this thing will get warm. It does not have any fans to cool it down or anything. And right now, I think this is around $126 on Amazon with a 20% off coupon. So you can pick this bad boy up for around $100. And I honestly think that's a pretty good deal. This Olight was way more than that, and this is almost just more fun to play with. So the Olight's got those red, blue, and green LED lights that, I've never used. I probably never will. But I do like that this Olight has the flood and the spot pattern. With this just being only pretty much a flood, it's really good for just lighting up the entire area in front of you. And I know I'm not doing it justice by just saying that. Unless you get this thing in your hands and you actually turn it on, it's hard to describe just how bright this thing can actually get. It's fun to use. That's all I can say. It's a fun flashlight to have, because you're going to be shocked when you turn this thing on. But anyway, right now for the price, I think this light, the Q8 Plus, and this little guy right here, This makes a really good EDC pocket light, in my opinion, for around 30 bucks. I don't think you can go wrong. And if you lose this thing, if you drop it off a cliff, you know, you're out 30 bucks, but you're not out 120 bucks, or you're not out 80 bucks. It's not gonna hurt your pocketbook quite as badly as losing a really expensive high-end light, and this still does do a pretty good job. So I think they're both pretty cool. And now that my phone battery has drained enough, I just wanted to show you folks, you can use this light too as a charging bank in the event, you know, of an emergency. So it does charge, and you're going to get a little orange light on this button here, indicating that it is using the batteries in the flashlight to actually charge my phone. So there you have it, gang. The SOFIRN Q8 Plus and the SC32 High CRI little EDC light. I don't think you can go wrong with either one. This one's a blast to use. I've never had a light that gets this bright, and it's just fun. And this is just a good EDC pocket light. That's really all I can say about this one, but I'll leave links for the description below. I'm not affiliated with SOFIRN, so they're not going to send me any money if you buy one, but I will leave an Amazon link below if you want to check them out while they're on sale. I think these are a pretty sweet deal while they're on sale. But anyway, folks, until next time, take care and see you soon.